Well, hello, WC students, and welcome to Covers. My name's Jackson, and I'm so excited to welcome you today. We're going to be having some fun today talking about Psalm 91. But first, before anything else, I just want to do something, and that's let you know about a resource that you can use during this time. And that's simply a bunch of albums by a group called Shane and Shane. It's a band that has released, I think now 3 or 4 Psalm records, and all these are the words of the Psalms put to modern takes on music, I guess you'd say. And what's been so fun during this time, as I have been diving into these Psalms, preparing for what I'm talking about in these covers, every time I open these Psalms, I start singing these songs that Shane and Shane have written to melodies and music that they've put to the words of these Psalms. And so it's been fun because I already know these Psalms going into it, but not because I've intentionally been memorizing these scriptures. It's just because I've been learning these songs, and not to play them just like you would on the radio, listening to songs on the radio, just repetitive hearing melodies and all those kind of things, and just knowing them. And so if you have any interest in memorizing Psalms or going deeper into these Psalms, I highly recommend checking out the albums by Shane and Shane. There's a couple of them. You can just search Shane and Shane. Probably put Psalms there too, and I'm sure it would come up on whatever music platform you use to listen to music. So without further ado, today we are talking about Psalm 91. So I highly recommend just reading this before you continue on with this video because, quite frankly, Psalm 91 is just a blessing to read. It is just a beautiful reminder of the trust that we can put in Jesus, of the goodness of Jesus, of the great love of Jesus, of just the praise that erupts from being in relationship with Jesus. So I recommend reading it because, quite frankly, it gave me a peace that I didn't know that I needed. It reminded me of the goodness of God in a way I didn't know that I needed right now. Whether it's COVID or not, I don't know. I just found myself really responding to these words because they're a blessing. They're just a big blessing. And so I want to talk to you guys today. Obviously, we're in COVID-19. And I'm quite frankly, if you're like me, you're tired of being talked to about COVID. You are tired of hearing, we're all in this together, or stay safe out there. These phrases that we see on billboards, on TV shows, or commercials for them, and I guess not shows, but commercials. All of these things, this messaging that is just overcoming everything that we see, because it almost makes it feel like that's all that matters. That's all that's going on. That's all that's happening in our lives. And quite frankly, that's all that's bad in the world. And it almost, for me at least, diminishes the value of the other problems that I have right now. I'm tired of talking about COVID because I have other things going on too. So maybe you're like me, and maybe you're in that place, and you're tired of COVID being the only thing. And yet, because it is the narrative that is so greatly encapsulated our world, it feels like that's all we can talk about. It feels like that's all that we are able to share with people because that's all that's going on. That's not true. There's so many other things going on, and I'm sure in your world. I don't need to give you examples of what's going on in your world because you know there are other things happening. I can tell you, I guarantee there are things happening because you've now been quarantined for 8 or 9 weeks with your family. Being in a close bubble with anybody will drive you nuts. So I'm sure there are things going on, though hopefully I pray that they're not, but I'm sure there are. Whatever they are, you think's going on. And so where do we turn when we have other things than what the world wants us to talk about going on? When we have struggles that we don't feel like we can share with people because either they don't want to hear it or we're scared to say it. And Psalm 91 just brilliantly reminds us that answer is Jesus. That answer is our God. We can trust him. We can put our faith in him. We can trust him to take the things that we're struggling with and and not gossip about them and not ignore them and not belittle them and not make them feel like less, but rather sit with us in that moment to help us not feel like we're maybe alone, to be reminded that we're never alone because of our great, great, great Father and the work of Jesus as well. My goodness. Y'all, it blows my mind, the trust that God is capable of, that we are capable of having with God because of how good He is, of how faithful He is. And so, again, wherever you find yourself, COVID or not, problems or not, which I'm sure we all have problems, so it's not problems or not, small problems, big problems, you can trust Him. You can trust Him to take those things. He's not scared. He's not afraid of the problems you have. He can handle them. I don't know about y'all. At our church, we have God is big enough bracelets all around. And I'm so reminded each and every day of how true that is. I mean, I wear, you can see that English on this and Spanish on this one. I love being reminded of that no problem that I have is bigger than our God, that God can handle everything that you give Him. So give it to Him. So come on, give it to Him. Bring it to Him, because I promise He's got you and He's got it. So our song for today is a song called Tremble. And quite frankly, what I love about this song is it shares the same heart as Psalm 91. It is simply a reminder of the trust that we can give Jesus because of His great work, because of His great power, because of His great love for each and every one of us. So I invite you to come sing with Bella and I as we sing Tremble by Mosaic MSC, should you want to listen to it afterwards. Come sing.
Bring it all to peace. Storm surrounding me, let it break. At your name still, call the sea to still, the rage in me to still every wave. At your name, Jesus, Jesus, you make the darkness darkness tremble, Jesus, Jesus. Call these bones to live, call these lungs to sing once again. I praise Jesus, Jesus. You make the darkness tremble, Jesus, Jesus. Silence fear, Jesus, Jesus. You make the darkness tremble, Jesus, Jesus. Your name is a light that the shadows can't deny. Your name cannot be overcome. Is life forever lifted high. Your name cannot be overcome. Your name is light that the shadows can't deny. Your name cannot be overcome. Your name is light forever lifted high. Your name cannot be overcome. Jesus, Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus, you silence fear. Jesus, Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus. Oh, shadows can't deny.